Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's section of reads. This should be on the YouTube channel James13 Wicca, in case you're seeing it somewhere else. The information like the decks and the dice I'm using, that's all below. Other than that, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below as well. That is below as well. Same information, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and let's go ahead and get into your selection. Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. This reading is valid for whenever you come to it. That being said, what do we have for Capricorn? The Queen of Wands fell out upside down when I was shuffling, and I was really, really adamant that I need to leave it there. And the card that popped up in that spot, yep, that's exact, yep. It fits. I don't know why. This situation, I think you're more on point than you realize, I have a feeling. People earn their place with Capricorn. And what I mean by that is, like, if you like them or dislike them or have a certain opinion about certain things with these people, they've earned it usually. It doesn't come out of nowhere. That to me, that's the Capricorn I know. I have a lot of Capricorns in my family, but like, people prove who they are, and Capricorn remembers. You may be quiet about it at certain times and certain places. You may keep that opinion to yourself if you find necessary, but usually when somebody earns an opinion, it usually sticks. And typically, you're paying attention, and over time, people earn their opinion, the opinion you have of them. For better, for worse, for whatever it is. I don't know why we're going to go there, but I'll go a little bit farther. Like, some people, maybe you have the opinion that they're sloppy at what they do, which usually not something that Capricorn is really very favorable towards, usually. But again, if they're sloppy, you've earned it. Doesn't mean they're a good person or a bad person, but you're like, I don't know if they're going to do the right thing or the wrong thing, but they're probably going to do it sloppy, and I don't know if I want that. It might be one of those things, just to be fair. So it doesn't have to be a good, bad opinion. You might be just like, oh, they're sloppy, or oh, they're meticulous, something like that. For whatever reason, this connection with whoever this is, for a while, you've been very careful with it. You've been holding yourself back. There are certain things with this situation that bother you. There are certain situations that have come up where it's kind of like, I don't really care for that. I don't think this has been like a pass-fail, like this is a good person, this is a bad person. I feel like this is more like the sloppy thing. Like, that's a bit sloppy. I don't really care for that. Or, like, it's kind of like, this is a person who always eats dessert first. Maybe that's not something you care for. You know what I mean? It's just, I just feel like I've noticed some things in the way they do things, and I don't really care for that all that much. It doesn't seem to be, like, affecting, like, I don't feel like I'm judging their morality on it. It's more like the way they do things, that type of thing, and I've been kind of holding back a little bit. Ironically, when it comes to morality, I think you actually like this person. It's more about how they live life, not the quality of character. Does that make sense? Am I saying that right? Like, their morality, push comes to shove, they're going to do the right thing. Push comes to shove, they're going to have your back. They may have it in a very sloppy way, but they'll be there. It could be something like that. So there's a positive energy with you and whoever this is. And, that has its own value in its own way. Excuse me. And you've been holding back for a while. This is interesting, this one. Is it blocked? Or are you're holding back? I feel like your energy is holding back. You're not overly... There are certain things you don't care for, but overall, the majority is good. There's more good here than not good. That's with the Four of Cups here. And I just feel like I stand back because why? This energy, also, okay, let's go a little bit closer. I have a weird feeling that they'll tell you what they think. And maybe I don't want to hear that. I don't know what that sound is. Well, it is whatever it is. I don't know if that's coming up on camera or on the audio. Hopefully not. I don't even know what that is. I can't even see anything out there. All right. Hopefully you're not hearing it. But this energy might give you their opinion. And I'm not really sure. They have very strong opinions too, is what I'm also getting. And they're not gonna sugarcoat it, whoever this is. So this might be part of it. There may be somebody in your life that you actually care about, that this person's also connected with, and they can't stand that person. But you're like, they're not that bad. And they're like, no, they are. This could be one of those things. They have a very jaded opinion about somebody. You're like, I don't think they're that bad. There's something coming forward. There's a big change happening here. And when this change happens, there's the ability to make a choice. Because again, I don't look at this energy like they're super negative. I feel like they're very bold and they feel the way they feel. I feel like it's ironic because I'm saying they're not super negative, but there's certain people they don't like, and they're just like, no, I don't like them, and that's that. And they're just like, that's what it is. And I feel like you have a difference of opinion on this. I don't know what that sound was. That was strange. There's a big change happening. I keep getting there's a big change with the first light and the death card coming in. This energy actually will help you, but I keep getting like this weird, like, they won't sugarcoat things. Usually, within respect, I feel like Capricorn's all right with that, within respect. Like, somebody telling you, like, flat out how they feel, but it's how they deliver the message. They can tell you the truth, they can get right to the point, but if it's aggressive or if it feels rude, it can be something else. So, yeah, you want people to be, like, on point with you and tell you actually what they're thinking but you don't want them to be, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not coming forward. Like, you don't want them to expect you to agree with them. If they're informing you how they feel and they're respectful about it, that's good. But if they're kind of like, no, this is how it is and everybody should feel that way, that's a whole nother thing. The information is coming in. It's starting to show. It just keeps showing and it just keeps coming forward. This is a moment where things can get better for you. This energy could help things get better for you. There's something good here. This energy will be helpful for you. Ace of Cups and the Temperance card. There's something here that's a little bit random. I'm trying to figure out what we're talking about here because it may not be your flavor, but I feel like I know that something is coming with good intention, and that does mean a lot, but it may not be your flavor how it's coming forward. The energy of this part is weird because it's good, but it's like, I don't know if I'm welcoming of it. It's good, but I don't know if I'm welcoming of it, if that makes sense. The truth is coming forward about something. And it's very bold. This is weird, because this energy likes to get along, actually. Justice is coming forward, and the truth is coming forward, but it's not coming forward from just one source. There's a few different sources bringing it forward. That energy we've been talking about has already been lined up with that. And ironically, their opinion about if it's a person or situation, what's happening next is lining up to more of the way they feel than maybe you've wanted to see it that way. That sound is back. I don't know what that is, but it's annoying. I hope you don't hear it too much on camera. It might fit the reading. Sometimes these things happen, and like this situation may be a source of annoyance. Annoyance. That's a word, right? Yeah, that's a word. Annoyment, I don't think is, but let's just make up words, shall we? The information comes in. Things are changing, and then all of a sudden things go quiet, and nobody wants to talk about it. Okay, so things calm, like things just chill for a minute. They're chill. Somebody's not saying or doing anything, but this is one of those moments where I feel it's doing the right thing for the wrong reason. So the energy's pulling back. Somebody is stepping out for a minute, which is the right thing to do, but the reason they're doing it, not on point. So just take it with a grain of salt is what I'm getting. There's something with a bit of randomness that is... There's still some random energy here, but it's at a lower level. The Wheel of Fortune comes in, but it's at a lower level. It's kind of like there's some debauchery, but it's like nothing that really is upsetting me. It's just kind of like, it's kind of like, that. But it's not like something I have to run over there and fix. It's not like the dog is like chasing somebody down the street. It's kind of like the dog is barking at somebody passing by the house, and it's kind of like, I could do without that, but, you know, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. Because I feel like you're also following suit at first. And then it seems to go into like, all right, I'm stepping out for a minute, but I can't stay out of this. I feel like I need to make a decision. Your energy is going to push forward. Like, it feels like I need to do something because this is going to affect me. And I'm not going to let the situation just decide for me what's coming next. I need to make a decision. So you're deciding how you want to move forward. And there's this panic energy coming in that seems to make you feel like I got to fix it and I got to fix it quick. It's panic energy that's kind of like, there's like a fear-mongering feel here. I don't think it has to be that way. It may feel like it, and there's a lot of signs around you that make you feel like it needs to go that way, but I don't feel like that's exactly how it needs to go. You don't have to follow any energy. You don't have to jump fast. But there is some type of panic energy around it, kind of like the house is on fire. Like if somebody tells you the house is on fire, you're going to book in there and be like, my house is not going to burn down. So it's going to give you this energy like, oh my God, I got to get in there and I got to save my house. Which would make sense why you would react that way. The other version is kind of like somebody saying your house is on fire. And you're going, well, okay, where? The first reaction is, what part of my house? The garage. You go over to the garage and you assess what's going on. Okay, there's some smoke. Where's the smoke coming from? It's coming from the barbecue. Barbecue should not be on inside the garage. Why is somebody like, it's kind of like, wait a minute, I don't like this. So it's kind of like, wait a minute, let's turn that off, get that outside, let's assess it. You can take your time, step forward, figure out what's happening, address it immediately, because I feel like you're going to have to address it immediately. Like, example, again, house is on fire. What part? Immediate question, what part? Going over there, okay, the garage. What in the garage? Where's the smoke coming from? Okay, is it from electrical? No, somebody's barbecuing inside the garage. Why? Like, that's a machine you put outside of the garage to use. Turn it off, get it outside, knock it off. It's kind of like, let me assess, let me take control, let me put this the way it's supposed to be. Slowing down respectfully with how, you know what I mean? If somebody tells you the house is on fire, you're not going to be like, I'll take a nap on that and think about it later. You're obviously not going to do that. But it's kind of like, what part? What's going on here? You Ask the questions, get the answers. you will fix the situation. I feel like it's not as bad, but if we just run in there and I just start throwing water, I just feel like this isn't helping. And it's kind of like, wait, who is doing that and why? Why did we do that? Because if you go slower, it's kind of like, who did that and why did they do that? Comes forward really quickly. If I rush in and I just shut it down and I just get it out, whoever did whatever they did is book and butt out of there, and they just don't want to be caught for what they did. So it's kind of like helping you solve the problem by doing it the way you would normally do it. Kind of like, yeah, I'm going to handle it right now, but what's going on? Why is this? Why is that? Are we good? Also, you need to know what's really going on here. In that sentiment, you need to know what's really going on here. And this is how you get it. Grace and gratitude. You're not going to be in a good mood about this, but you can play it quiet. Not for the sense of like, you know, giving somebody a break because it's like they made a mistake, I'm going to give them a break. No. That's not where we're going with this. We're going quiet, we're going careful, we're being nice because we want to know the truth. And it's very much a get more flies with honey than with vinegar type of situation. And that's how you're going to get the truth out of this situation. It's kind of like, all right, everything is all right. We got the barbecue or the whatever thing outside. Nothing got damaged, I don't think. It's kind of like, where did the smoke go and what did that do? Did that leave smoke damage? Because I'm going to be upset. But it's kind of like, I'm going to hold it together. I'm not going to let people know that part. It's kind of like, I'm thinking, is there smoke damage? I'm not saying it because you're probably going to check it yourself because you're like, I don't care what they think. I want to see it myself to decide for myself. But it's kind of like, I'm acting chill. I'm acting calm. I'm acting like everything's okay. Because I want to know, oh, how did that happen? Oh, who made that decision? Or what were you making? Oh, what were you making? Blah, 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 blah. Because I need to know who was making these decisions. Choices. That's a choice. Choices. This is how you get it. Keep that in mind. Keep that in the back of your mind because you need the truth. If you get the truth and you find out what actually happened, you can fix the problem. This is helpful. It is, because I don't know what's going on with this energy. It's very peculiar because it's very much a straight shooter. It's not going to tell you what it thinks you want to hear. It's not going to do that. It's going to tell you what they see. They're going to be like, no, this is what I see, and this is how it is, and that's how that person is, and this is what that's doing. They can be very pointed. The Devil card's coming in, but it's very interesting because the Devil card in the tarot talks about Capricorn energy. So especially for you, the Devil card doesn't have to be a bad thing. There could be a situation here where this person sees things and knows what's going on, and they may be like, all right, Capricorn, I know you're acting like you're okay, but I know you better than that. I know you're pissed. And I'm going to tell you what actually happened, and I'm going to tell you what I saw, and I'm going to tell you who was in there. And, oh, look who was in there. Captain Problem. Captain Problem was in there, and look, problems happened. They might be like that, but they're fairly respectful about it, whatever that means, because they're trying to give you information to help you fix the situation. At the same time, they are pointed and they are jaded, is what I'm also getting. You already know that. It's kind of like, not everything that person does turns to crap. And they're like, well, I think it does. So they're like, well, maybe not everything, but there's a higher chance of it, that's for sure. They're very jaded is what I keep getting. But they should be kind of talking about it in a way that kind of makes sense to you. And they're bringing you a lot of value with this. They're telling you the truth. They're telling you their truth. They're telling you their truth. And I feel like you understand that. Kind of like, whatever they're saying, you know that they believe what they're telling you. They completely believe what they're telling you. That is completely how they see it. Whether you agree with how they're seeing it, that's its own story. But they're right on, this is how I see it. This is what I think. They're a straight shooter that way. So... they're going to also bring in history with this. Capricorn responds to history. So when people have proven to you who they are and how they work, you pay attention. You do see it. So they're giving you their view, and they're offering you a chance for you to see it also from a view from above. they're going to push forward a lot of information like, and this is how they've done that before, this is how they've done that before, and this is how they've done that before. And I feel like, yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, but it wasn't that bad. But it wasn't that bad. And I feel like they might be pushing it forward. Take it with a grain of salt. Well, when is it that bad? There's so many things in line here, and this is just one more thing in line. When is it that bad? I don't think they're going to try to force you to see it their way, but I also feel like they're making a point, like they're the way they feel, it's not just because they're in a bad mood or they just got slighted by this person. They're like, no, I have reasons to feel the way I feel. That's coming forward. And I don't think they're being aggressive towards you, but they're trying to make a point. Like, it's not just a frivolous opinion I have. There's a lot behind it. How is that going to go for Capricorn? Because when the truth comes out, I feel like this energy has been more on point maybe than you really want it to. The Wheel of Fortune comes forward with the Knight of Cups, kind of like this, kind of like, it's going to depend. It depends on how you feel about it, because I feel like for some of you, you're not going to want to see it, and you're not going to be happy about it. Others of you are going to be like, I don't want to see it, but maybe it's time that I did. It's going to depend. This is one of those readings. This is just how it's going. This is a moment where you can step into power. It's hard to see this, whatever this is. This energy around you can be more of an ally. They don't pull punches, though. They're like, this is what it is. That's how, they tell you their truth. This is reminding me of the Virgo reading, and I'm trying not to go there, but it is kind of reminding me of it. So I don't know if you have a Virgo in your life that you're going through this with, or there's something like that, or you in another sign like a Virgo or dealing with the same issue, and maybe it's kind of matching. I don't know. If this is hitting really strong, though, I'd recommend watching the Virgo too, because that might also give you some insights. From that point forward, it depends on how the information lands for you and what you want to do. You're going to have to sit with it for a minute and decide what that means to you and where you want to go next. I think the whole point of this reading is to help you see a little clearer about what's already happening around you, and maybe adjusting your viewpoint on a couple things within reason, and maybe start handling things a little bit differently, possibly, depending on what you find, depending on what you decide and assess for the situation. But there could be an opportunity to do things differently with better outcomes. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.